Hello guys, welcome all of you back with our database management system question discussion. Today we are going to discuss our question set number 8. So let's get started. Here we have our description for question number 8. It says, to facilitate the business of Max Mobile, the owner of the mobile phone company has uses a computer software which use the following table to store the data in that computer software. Answer the questions asked in this table. So they have given us two tables as customer table and product table. In the customer table, we have columns as cus ID, first name, last name, gender and contact number. And they have also included some details into this customer table. After that, here we have our product table. In the product table, we have columns as Pro ID, brand name, model number and price. And they have also included few data into this product table. Here we have our first question as create a database named MS Shop to save the data in the mobile phone shop. And the second question is create a table as customer and product in the database. Follow the instructions below. And they have given us the relevant instructions to create these two tables. Here we have our instructions to create customer table and here we have our instruction to create product table. In the customer table instructions, we have our column names here, then the data type in here and the length of that data type is in here. And the cus ID column name has been marked as the primary key in customer table. In the product table instructions, here we have our column names and the data types in here and the length of that data type is in here. And the Pro ID column name has been marked as the primary key. And our third question is add data graphically to the table you have created. And the fourth one is find all customers. And the fifth one is find detail of all products. And the sixth question is find the detail of the customer whose cus ID column value is equal to CUS003. So let's discuss our first question. It says create a database name mshop to save the data in the mobile phone shop. We can do this using two methods. First one is using a query and the second one is using a manual method. When we create a database using we can use create database if not exist command in order to create this database, and then in here we have given our database name. So let's go and see how we can do this practically. So after inserting our query, we can click on this run button. After executing this code, we can refresh our connection and in here you can see we have our new database as mshop. So let's go back. After that, here we have our second question as create a table as customer and product in the database. Follow the instructions below. And here we have our instruction to create two tables. When we create a table using a query, first we need to define what database we are using. We have used this part to create our table. And we have said create table if not exist. And then in here we have given our table name. After that, here we have inserted our column names, data types and data lengths. In the cus ID column name, here we have marked it as a primary key. After that, here we have our second table. In here we have said to create a new table as product, and then in here we have given the column names, and then in here data types and the data lengths in here. We have marked Pro ID column as a primary key. So let's go into HeidiSQL and see how we can create this. After inserting the query, you can click on this run button. After successfully executing this button, we can refresh our connection. Then let's go into our MShop database. And here you can see we have our first table as customer. When we double click on this customer table, we can see in here, these are the column names and these are the data types and these are the lengths. And you can see Cus ID column has been marked as a primary key. So let's create our second table. After inserting the query, we can click on this run button. Then we can refresh our database and then you can see in here we have our table. And when we double click on this table, in here we have our column names, data types and data lengths. And the pro ID column has marked as a primary key. Here we have our third question as add data graphically to the table you have created. So let's enter these details. First let's insert data to product table. So now we have successfully entered data into our product table. So let's insert data into our customer table too. So now we have successfully entered our customer data too. So let's go back. In our fourth question, it says find all customers. We can do this using a search query. First, we need to define what database we are using, and after that, we can use our select query. We have defined our database using use mshop because we are using our mshop database. We have used that database name in here. After that, in here we have run a search query and we have said select all columns from customer table. This is the table name, and within the select and from keywords we have to give what columns we are going to need. In this case we are going to need all the columns. So in here we have used a asterisk mark. So let's go and see how we can do this. After inserting the query, we can click on this run button. After that, in here you can see at the bottom you can see the relevant data has been loaded. So these are the data of all the customers in the customer table. So let's go back. In our fifth question, it says find details of all products. First, we need to define what database we are using. After that, we can run a search query. And in here, we have said select all columns from product table. So it's going to give us all the data available within product table. So let's go and see how we can practically do this. After inserting our query, we can click on this run button and it's going to load our product table data in here. So let's go back. In our sixth question, it says find the detail of the customer whose cus ID is equal to CUS003. First, we need to define what database we are using and then we can run a search query with the condition. In here we have defined our database using use mshop. After that we can run our search query. And in here we have said select all columns from customer table. And in here we have given a condition using where keyword. After that in here we have given a column and then in here the value. And what this says is select all columns from customer table and where customer ID column value is equal to CUS003. So it's going to load all the data from customer table which row cus ID is equal to CUS003. So let's go and do this practically. After inserting our query, we can click on this run button and it's going to load that relevant cus ID details in here. So let's go back. That's all for today, guys. Thanks all of you for joining with us. See you in our next question set discussion.